Thank you to RSF1090 for their generous donation on Patreon. May 10. Well, I guess we're back to the grinder today. Hey, June, sorry I'm Huh? Oh, fuck, everyone's here. Whoa, why are there so many people in here?
Oh, RutherfordSthorne, you're here too?
Yeah, I was thinking of swinging by a little earlier, but I was held up by the rep. What's everyone doing here?
Well, are you implying that we have no business being here?
I never said anything like that. Hold your horses, man. Jane, you're jumping to conclusions again.
If you say so.
Ever the unfriendly one. We were all chatting together after class ended, and ended up following June here. Oh, hey. It's been a while since I've seen you, Chev-kun. I sit just 3 chairs away from you. Don't just casually forget I exist like that. And also, please don't call me that. Sorry, it was an honest mistake.
Don't believe him for a second, Victor. He's the type to forget about new people in a heartbeat.
Agreed. Hey, that's a pretty horrible thing you just said about me. I'm standing right here, you know. The twins shrug and sink.
It took you 6 months to even be able to tell which one of us was which.
No, it took me 6 months to remember your names. I could already tell you two apart. After all, the difference is plain as day. Still, it's true that you tend to forget about people quite easily. Is that so? Rutherford, could it be that you're an airhead?
Well, of course not! Huh? But RutherfordSthorne, you are an airhead.
You're the last person I want to hear that from.
What, RutherfordSthorne, your eyes are scary!
June, I don't think you of all people should be saying that to him. The fox is struggling to keep himself from laughing.
Huh? Why? Get it, new guy. This one has no self-awareness. What? Now you're sounding just like RutherfordSthorne.
This just goes to show that I'm right. You don't need to rub it in. Really, some people think rubbing is the best part. Twins and the fox all groan in response to my dirty little joke. June, on the other hand, stands on his spot, looking confused.
What do you mean?
You don't want to know.
Huh? Just take our word for it, it was awful.
Sheesh, tough crowd. I don't think there are many people who would have found that funny. Jeez, all 3 of them are glaring at me. Fine, I get it. I won't make jokes like that anymore. You guys don't have to look at me like that.
Can we just go back to our previous conversation topic?
I think I'd like that. Agreed.
I'm fine with that.
What were you guys talking about before I showed up? We talked about a lot of things. It was mostly games and food.
We also talked to Vixon about what Europe is like.
Not that it was a very interesting conversation.
It was very interesting to me, for me.
Of course it was. You're so easily excited that watching paint dry might be interesting for you. So the conversation is about games, huh?
I kind of wanted to talk about Europe a bit more, but everyone has already moved on from that.
Like I said, there isn't much to tell. It's different from Japan, sure, but that doesn't make it interesting.
Of course you don't think it's interesting. You grew up there.
I gotta agree with June on that one. There are a lot of things about our country that you consider super interesting when it's really just mundane stuff. I don't think that's true. I've seen you gawking at a vending machine once because we had all different flavors of soda and snacks inside. What? You saw that? Nope, but you've admitted you did it. The fox's cheeks immediately flush red. He stares at me with a gaping jaw. Foreigners, they're all the same.
RutherfordSthorne, that was kind of mean.
Think so? I thought that was hilarious.
It was pretty clever of you to trick him like that. Ow!
Gene elbows his brother with an effort to get him to stop talking. Don't you start.
Jeez, you're so sensitive. Ow!
Chev-kun sighs, rubbing the back of his neck and looking away. Jeez, I can't believe I fell for such a childish trick. Nothing to be so embarrassed about. A lot of people are awed by different things. Anything that isn't common in your country, can be shocking to you, even if it's pretty commonplace for us. Maybe, but that was still too stupid of a trick. How did I manage to fall for that? Well, people don't usually expect me to be sly.
Rutherford-san, did you just admit other people think you're dumb?
Shut up.
Talk about instant karma.
Not really. As far as sass goes, that was pretty tame.
Well, sorry if I'm not used to being witty all the time.
No, you got a sharper tongue than you realize.
I do?
How clueless can you be? By the way, Victor-kun, I remember asking you around about good restaurants I remember you asking around about good restaurants in the city a few days ago. Oh, yeah, I did. To a group of freshmen in the cafeteria. How did you even find out about that?
He has an information network in place, so he always informed when people talk about restaurants or food in the school grounds. It's frightening.
What? Seriously? Chef-kun eyes go wide in complete and utter shock. I think the most shocking thing is the fact that this guy his age would believe such a What? Oh. That a guy his age would believe such a ridiculous tale. Of course not. I was sitting on a nearby table when you asked them. How could you believe something like that? Ah. Jean doubles over in a bout of roarish laughter, gasping for air as it continues on for quite some time. Chef-kun stares at him with an offended pout, his cheeks tinted red. This is the second time you guys have made a fool out of me.
Sorry, you just really struck me as the kind of idiot who'd fall for a stupid story like that. Ha ha
ha! Hey!
Takes one to know one. Hey!
Now you're offended. He's not wrong there, Gene.
Not you, too.
You guys really make a fuss out of nothing. That's true. Can we get back to the conversation I was trying to have? No sidetracking this time, Gene.
Hey, sorry. I was just trying to have some fun. God knows you can go on forever when you start talking about food.
With the way these two bicker, it's hard to believe that they're actually close. Either way, I have some restaurants I can recommend if you want. I know a ton. That's true. Jean can actually runs a mini food blog in the school's website. It's pretty popular, too. Wow, that sounds super cool.
You're easily impressed, aren't you?
Like you're one to talk.
Well, I think I might as well listen in on this conversation, too. I'll write down the ones that sound nicest so that I can go when I've saved up some money.
Okay, let me see. Where do I start? The bell rings to signal the end of the lunch break. Wow, did I really go on for that long?
It was very informative.
Yeah, for sure. Now I'll be able to eat something other than convenience store meals. You could always just cook for yourself, but I didn't get to eat yet.
Something tells me I'm gonna have to go the rest of the day hearing you complain.
My lunch. Sorry, big guy, I don't think anyone noticed the time passing. Yeah. Jean scowls, gritting his teeth. He's way too upset over for just a missed meal.
I have to admit, my stomach probably won't like me for this either.
I was only going to have the cafeteria's nasty food anyway, so no real loss for me. Even someone who just moved here already can tell our cafeteria food is bad, huh? Well, yeah, the thing just looks and tastes foul. And here I thought he'd be glorifying it because it's real Japanese food. I guess foreigner stereotypes aren't always correct. Also, he'd probably hit me if he knew I was mentally stereotyping him.
Come on, bro, let's head back to the classroom. We have at least 5 minutes before class starts. You can at least eat part of your food.
But I won't be able to buy the cafeteria's yakisoba bread.
Seriously, why do you want that thing in the first place? It's horrible.
The two walk out of the room whilst bickering about food once again. Why is it that whenever those two are fighting, the subject is almost always food? I've been asking myself this question for years now. It's like the only thing they can't agree on. I should probably head back too. There isn't much to do until the teacher comes back anyway.
Oh, wait!
Jun calls out to the fox just as soon as Chef-kun begins walking away. Yes, do you need anything?
No, I was just wondering if you'd like to come over here after class and watch me rehearse.
I don't think I've ever heard Jun inviting someone other than me to watch him rehearse. Hell, he even makes a fuss when I try to suggest I watch him. Am I being replaced? Shevkun scratches his chin as if considering the proposition. He then opens his mouth in a huge smile. Sorry, maybe later. I'm still trying to get settled in, and there's a lot of things I need to do. I have a pile of homework that needs doing, and I haven't even finished unpacking all my stuff yet. Man, you've been here for over 2 weeks. How haven't you unpacked yet?
Oh, okay.
Sorry, June. I'll just make sure to watch some other time, okay?
Okay.
The fox leaves the room as well, leaving June and I alone inside. So you want Shevkun to watch you rehearse, huh? Gotta say I'm a bit surprised. I don't think I've ever seen you invite anyone before.
Yeah, it felt a bit weird, but I'm kind of worried about him.
Worried? Why?
He doesn't interact much with the people in our class. I can kind of understand that. Most of the people there have known each other for years, so it's hard to find a group to hang out with. I was lucky enough that you guys befriended me, but not everyone is that lucky. I guess I just wanted to help him like you guys helped me.
Wow, I never took him for the type to worry about things like this. You're a lot more mature than you look.
Why do I feel like that was supposed to be an insult?
It's not. Don't worry about it. I just never really thought you'd be the type to worry about other people.
What? Of course I do. What do you take me for? If I didn't worry about others, then I'd be some sort of psychopath.
Kudos for knowing the word psychopath, but I'm pretty sure you used it wrong. I think you're exaggerating a little tiny bit there, then I see your point. Still, I just don't think you'd I just didn't think you'd pay enough attention to notice that sort of thing, that's all.
Again, I feel like I should be insulted.
Sorry. Is it alright if I come and watch your rehearsal later, or was that offer just for Shevkun?
Of course not, Rutherford's son. I love having you around while I practice. You're always welcome to watch.
Damn, saying something like that while making a face like this is a low blow. Thanks. I'll make sure to swing by later. We should probably head back now, though.
Okay.
Why is my heart racing? May 11th. Good lord, these days are just flying by. I wonder what's gonna happen today. The smell of dust and chalk permeates the air. Today again, I come to this old music room to watch June rehearsing. Usually, watching him playing would calm me. Seeing his entranced figure as he gracefully played, his arms dancing across the keys, filled with satisfaction, might even dare call it happiness. Today, like always, I watch as he plays the same old piano. It's the same song that he's been practicing lately. Even if I know nothing of music, I can always appreciate it. But unlike the other times I've watched, the air feels tense. Can't quite put my finger on it. With my limited knowledge, nothing he's doing seems to be wrong. And yet, in a sense, it all feels wrong. June moves with a desperation that is unlike him. His body moves jerkily, almost mechanically. Every now and then I see his ears twitching. His tail lashes around, his eyes keep fluttering open, whereas he'd normally have them closed the whole time. His expression looks to be anything but peaceful. He looks strained. In more ways than one, I worry. Not knowing what is happening, I merely sit and watch this performance. Calling it grating would probably be a stretch, but at the same time, seeing it makes my heart ache. His mouth curves and his lips quiver. It looks to me like he's gritting his teeth. At this point, I'm absolutely convinced that something is wrong. I consider it to myself whether I should stop his performance, but I also know how he is. He'd probably kick me out if I interrupted him halfway. I grit my own teeth, trying to keep myself sitting down. This is nothing like the last times I've come to watch. It scares me. From the back of my mind, I keep having bad thoughts. Has he been pushing himself too hard again? Knowing him, that possibility sounds completely believable. Even though I promised I'd stop bothering him about it, I can't help but worry. If he hurts himself because he's overburdening himself, as an athlete, I've seen that damage that overpracticing can cause, not just to your body, but to your mind. I just want this to stop. I want this performance to stop. Please, just make him stop. After what seems like an eternity, the last note rings out. June sits perfectly still, panting in his seat. I want to reach out to him and say something, but my throat merely contracts uselessly. I struggle to find my words.
What did you think?
As he always does, June asked me for my feedback on his performance. Usually, I'd have nothing but praise to give him, even if I wanted to. I know nothing of music, so I couldn't criticize, but today, even as he looked at me and tried to smile, the strain on his face was obvious. June, are you all right?
Huh? Of course I am.
Liar. I just felt like something was wrong. You didn't play like you usually do. It felt wrong somehow. Even as I'm trying to explain my worries, I can't come up with coherent words to explain my thoughts. It felt wrong. A 5th grader could probably come up with a better explanation.
It was no good.
Somehow he looks so pitiful that he mumbles those words. The disappointment is clearly obvious in his eyes. Whether he's disappointed at me or himself, I don't know. Yet, I still feel guilty. I feel as if I had just yelled at a small, frail little kitten. I know that's an unfair comparison, but I can't help but feel that way. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring you down. It's just... My words died in my throat. Without missing a beat, he probed me for more information. I composed myself, afraid to say the words I'm thinking. He's already gotten mad at me for it before. I'm afraid of how he might react if I bother him with this subject again. But the rational part of my brain trumps over my fear, reminding me that there are more important things than that. I'm worried, June. You seemed out of it the entire day. I thought you were just distracted during class, but now, even when you were playing, it felt like you were overexerting yourself. It looked like you were in pain.
I'm fine. You don't have to worry about me.
I'm completely surprised by his reaction. I expected him to get annoyed. I expected him to yell. I expected him to kick me out. Instead, his voice came out meek, almost pleading, as if he desperately wanted me to believe him. You don't look or sound fine. Are we going to have a repeat of last time?
Last time?
The day when I had to force you to go to the school doctor because you were having chest pains?
It wasn't chest pain. I told you it was
Shortness of breath, like I'm going to believe that.
I'm telling you, I'm fine.
Of course you're not fine! And I think I know what you have.
You do?
Yeah. You're having heart problems because you're overweight, aren't you?
Rutherford-san, I'm not amused.
Huh?
You just called me fat.
What? I mean, it's kinda true.
Rutherford-san, do you want me to kick you?
Huh? What'd I do? If it's not that, then what's going on with you?
I'm just really tired. I didn't really get sleep tonight, and I've also got caught a cold.
You don't look like you've got a cold.
Just because I'm not coughing doesn't mean I don't have a cold. My head is spinning. I'm running a fever and my throat hurts.
Then why didn't you say something earlier? Why did you even come to school at all today?
I didn't want to make you worry. You know how you are. If you knew how I'm sick, you'd be fussing over me all day.
You're not lying to me, are you?
Why won't you answer?
Why are you looking at me like that? June?
Yes, I promise I'm not lying.
If that's the case, then you really should be resting. You should head to the doctor's office.
You see, this is exactly why I didn't want to tell you.
Are you seriously worried about rehearsing right now? You need to rest. You can't keep pushing your body like that.
I told you I'm fine.
And I told you you're obviously not fine. Come on, just do what I'm telling you already.
But
why does he always have to be so difficult? It's like I'm trying to argue with a child. Come on, June. Please.
Don't look at me like that. It's hard to say no.
That's the point.
Just a little more? I feel like I can just a little more practice for today.
No. You need to rest. Come on. You should know better than anyone that you won't get anywhere by practicing in this state. You'll just start making mistakes because of your condition, and they'll end up sticking to you like a bad habit that's hard to get rid of. You're just hurting your own progress. Once he hears those words, his shoulders drop and gaze softens. Damn it. It's like I finally managed to get him.
I definitely don't want that to happen.
Jeez, you can be stubborn.
That sort of attitude isn't always cute, you know. Are you going to do as I say and head home now? I guess so. There's no point in arguing with you. You are even more stubborn than I am.
Damn right I am.
It's not something to be proud of, you know. If it gets you to rest, then of course it is. Do you need me to walk you to the doctor's office? There's no need. I'm just gonna go home. Home? But the doctor's office is a better place for you. It feels too much like a hospital. I can't relax in there. I guess that's fair.
Do you need me to walk you home?
It's alright. I kind of want to be alone with my thoughts.
Thoughts? Plural?
Something wrong with that?
No, not at all. Everything's fine, just dandy.
If you say so. Can I ask you to handle the cleaning of the room for me? Usually I take care of it every day after I finish rehearsing, but
of course, leave it to me. I'll make sure this place is spotless so you can just relax.
Thanks.
June picks up his bag and stands up, looking me up and down one final time.
I guess I'm gonna head home now.
I'll see you later.
Get well. I will. Thank you.
Wonder if everything really is okay. Ugh, so sleepily, sleep sleepily. Yeah. Ugh, so sleepy, I don't want to go out today. I've been thinking over a lot of stuff since I last saw June. I've been wondering what I could do to help make him feel better. It's plain to see that the stress has been taking a toll on him, so I thought of ways that I could potentially try to help without also being intrusive and annoying. In the end, all I could come up with was a silly little care package. I've bought all of June's favorite sweets, as well as some vitamin pills and some tasty food. I want to make sure he's eating. Even if it's junk food, it's still better than nothing. I can't wait to see his face when I give this to him. Hey, pardon for the intrude. Huh? At first I don't see anything. The tiger I expected to be sitting in front of the piano isn't there. For a second I imagined he might have taken my advice to heart and decided to take a break, to take rest today. Feeling satisfied with that, I read to myself to step outside and close the door. Then for some reason a chill runs over my spine. Call it instinct or premonition, but something tells me to investigate further. I step inside the room to begin to walk over to the piano. Lumped over on the floor is a tiny figure of a tiger dressed in his school uniform. He's fallen over behind the piano, hidden from view from anyone who doesn't bother to take more than a cursory glance into the room. June! Without a second thought, I run towards him. June, are you alright? That's when I notice it. A small puddle of blood forming around his head. I look up and see a few drops of blood running down the edge of the piano. No way. I desperately open my bag, rummaging through a piece of cloth or something I can use to put pressure on it. Come on. A clean shirt! Come on, June, answer me. I try to remember the basics of first aid that I learned a few years ago in school, but it's no use. My mind is racing too fast to properly think. Calling out for help. Someone please, anyone help. June was taken to the hospital a few minutes afterwards. I don't know if I did anything past calling for help was useful at all. I wasn't allowed to ride with him to the ambulance for some reason. Instead, the school doctor went with him. As I stood there in front of the school gate, the cuff of my shirt soaked in blood, watching the ambulance ride it away, I felt so small. Useless. I wonder what's gonna happen today. Oh, I wonder what the fuck. Yeah, let's fucking... Pristine white walls and floors, the slight smell of dust mixed in with sanitizer, an endless array of numbered doors. The feeling I got when I walked into the hospital was one of dread and nostalgia. Last time I'd been in a hospital was when Aki was born. And just a few days before that, I was also in the hospital when my dad was pronounced dead. Wow. Goddamn. I hate this place. And this time I also ended up here for a not so pleasant reason.
You guys really didn't have to go out of your way to visit me.
We dropped by after school to come visit the stubborn little tiger that had been admitted here after a freak accident. Holy God! This is gonna be a nightmare of voice acting. You're crazy if you think we just let you rot alone in a hospital bed without coming over to see you.
Shuichi-san.
You shouldn't act so surprised. We hardly seem like the only ones to have had the idea. Keisuke glances over to the mountain of wrapped presents on a bedside table that was almost 40 centimeters high. It seems some people even skip class to keep you company, huh? Shev-kun and Sora were both sitting next to Jun's bed, looking at us awkwardly. I can sort of get why Sora would come since Jun is his neighbor, but why are you here, Shev-kun? Jun has been really nice to me since I first moved here. I thought I'd return the favor and making sure he wasn't alone. Although it turns out I didn't really have to.
I told you guys you didn't have to.
Nonsense. It was my pleasure to spend time with you. Same here. I'm starting to feel bad for not having skipped class to spend time with Jun. Agreed. Yeah, I feel kind of like a sucky friend now.
Oh, don't you guys start on that too.
Yeah, alright, sorry.
By the way, I'm sorry there aren't any chairs in here for everyone. I can call a nurse and ask her to bring some more in if you want. Don't be silly, we're fine where we are.
Yeah, we're not gonna complain just because we have to stand up, we're fine. Although if you'd like, I could get you into a top-line hospital in a heartbeat.
Please don't go through that sort of trouble for me. There's no way I could pay you back for it.
I'm not asking you to, and it would be no trouble for me. A few days in private hospital would hardly leave a dent in my wallet.
That's one of the things that scares me.
Huh?
Nothing. By the way, Jun-kun, if you don't mind telling us, how did you even get here in the first place? I mean, how did the accident happen?
At the mention of the accident, everyone goes stiff. We all watch Jun carefully, afraid of how he might react to it. For a second, his suddenly neutral expression gives us quite a fright.
It's stupid. I tripped on my shoelaces when I was getting up and ended up hitting my head on the piano. Next thing you know, I'm in the hospital.
How did you even manage such a feat? Shuichi elbows Keisuke in the stomach, sending the hair back a few steps. Ow! The important thing is that you're alright now. Good thing Rutherford was there to help you when he did.
Don't get me wrong, I really appreciate his help, but my head injury wasn't really that bad.
Then how come there was so much blood? Well, there were quite a few blood vessels in the head, so even minor injuries can bleed quite a lot. So I was scared to death for absolutely no reason. Good to know.
It's not like that. You were still very helpful. There was no way to know if it was serious or not without getting me to a hospital. If it's not that bad, then how come you haven't been discharged yet? The doctor said he wants to keep me in for observation to make sure there's nothing wrong with me.
Sounds a bit overkill to me for some head trauma. You've already been here for over 24 hours. I'm kind of surprised at the level of care you guys get in here in Japan. There were nurses coming and going out of this room all the time to check up on him. I never knew you could get such attentive care for a regular injury. That's not normal, though. They're going above and beyond here for some reason. Really? Why?
I can't really answer that.
Is that so, huh? I didn't expect that level of care from a public hospital. Things aren't going to be bad just because they're not private, you know. I understand your argument, but we're remain unconvinced. You really sound like a snobbish rich guy every now and then. Think whatever you like, I still keep my opinion. You're impossible. Can you two behave? Do you need to bicker everywhere you go? What are you talking about? We're just having some fun. There's no need to be so serious all the time. We're in a hospital, you know?
It's alright, Rutherford-san. Seeing the two of them like this is kind of relaxing. It just feels right.
So you're saying they bicker so much that it'd be weird if they weren't fighting. That's kind of a sad thing to say. Well, I can see that Juna's in good hands now. I need to be home soon. My parents want to call me to check up on how things are going for me, so I might as well leave now. Oh, me too. I still need to go to the club I'm affiliated with for practice.
Okay, thank you for keeping me company, guys. And for the presents, too.
Don't mention it. You call me if you need anything. I'll drop by later to bring you some more games.
You brought me so many already. I'll doubt to be able to try them all before I get discharged.
Nothing wrong with having some variety.
I suppose.
I wish I could bring you something too, but I didn't bring a lot of games with me from my France. His France, specifically. I only have one of my consoles, and it's not a portable one.
You don't need to worry about that, really. You guys have already done so much for me.
I'm just returning the favor. Feel free to call me whenever you want to hang out. I'll come if I'm available.
Okay.
See you guys later. Bye, everyone. See ya. Thanks for the help.
Yeah, thanks for keeping an eye on him so he doesn't end up hurting himself again. You two take care on the way home.
The room is definitely a lot less cramped with fewer people inside. Saya doesn't miss the opportunity to sit down in one of the free chairs as soon as they leave, leaving the three of us to fight for the remaining one. Thank you.
How are you feeling now? Any residual symptom or something like that? Nah, I just feel a bit tired. I guess I've been overworking myself too hard lately.
You really are an idiot for going to such extremes. Oh, please, as if you have the right to complain to him about that. Indeed, I've seen you practice until you literally dropped. Well, do as I say, but don't do as I do. That's a weak excuse if I've ever heard one. Oh, shut up. You've seen nothing, though. He was way worse than when we were kids. Is that so? Could you please not give him more ammunition to use against me? It's your fault for saying something so blatantly hypocritical. You guys are way too fussy. Says the one who fusses about everything Kobayashi does. I'm just looking out for him. It's called being a good friend.
It's called being annoying?
What? Not you too, Sayed-chan. What about you, June?
Sorry, Rutherford-san, but you're on your own.
What? No way, even you? Face it, you've lost. Betrayed by all my friends. What a truly horrible way to die. You really do have a penchant for the dramatic, don't you? Thank you, thank you. I'd like to thank my mother and my brother for supporting me. So this turned into an award ceremony now.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Appreciate what? Their tomfoolery? You know this is just a daily occurrence, right? I know, but it's still refreshing to see right now. It's easy to get depressed in a hospital. This isn't the most comfortable of places after all. Last night was pretty rough for me, so this is definitely a nice change of pace. I'd have spent the night here if I knew. I really should have come if I knew. Nah, don't worry about that. Really, it's enough that you guys are here now. That's all that matters to me, thanks.
Of course we're here, like we'd abandoned one of our own. You're stuck with us now, better get used to it.
I don't mind at all. By the way, Rutherford-kun brought you a gift. Really?
Oh, Saya-chan, don't just put me out on the spot out of nowhere.
Oh, please, you were already going to give him it before you even got put in the hospital. Why, don't wuss out now.
You're way too blunt sometimes.
You were going to give me something before I got sent to the hospital?
Yeah, I put together a care package for you. I was going to give it to you on the day you had your accident. I was going over to bring it to you when I found you.
No way.
Here, it's nothing grand, judging by the others thing you've got here on the table. You probably already have a ton of good stuff, but I'll put this together because I worried about you. It's one of your favorite sweets and some vitamin pills.
Rutherford-san? Thank you, Rutherford-san.
It's no big deal. You're blushing. Shut up.
Huh?
June rummages around and through the little basket I've given him. From inside it, he pulls out a small keychain.
What's this?
Oh, right. I saw it in one of the stores I went to while I was buying stuff for your care package. I kind of thought of you when I saw it, so I decided to buy it. Sorry, that was too corny, huh? Yeah, it was. Probably the sappiest thing I've ever seen.
I'm embarrassed for you.
You guys are the worst.
Don't worry about them, Rutherford-san. I love it.
Really?
Yeah, it's really cute. Thank you.
I'm glad you liked it. Oh, God, this is so sweet. I think I'm going to throw up. You really are an ass. Of course I am. Isn't that why you love me? No comment. We stayed with June and chatted up until visitation hours ended. I walked back home with Shuichi at the end of the day, thinking about everything that happened lately. For some reason, I feel a creeping sense of dread in the back of my mind. Who's gonna die? Oh, yeah. Dun, dun, dun! Your friends are gonna die. Yeah. Kobayashi-san is gonna die. You're gonna die. Yeah. I decided to get up a little earlier than normal and go to visit June in the hospital. I feel a bit poopy from having woken up. Really? I feel a bit poopy? The writing in this game has just gone downhill like 15 notches. I feel a bit poopy from having woken up at a time I'm not used to, but I consider it a worthy sacrifice if it means I can brighten his day even just a little. Wait, is that June? I see him walking out of the hospital with his parents. Rutherford-san? Good morning. What are you doing out here? I got discharged this morning, so my parents are taking me home. I think I just gave him Coach's voice. Hey, Scoon. It's a pleasure to meet you again. Say, I saw your match at the prefectural finals, and I was really amazed by...
Dear, we really don't have time for this right now.
Oh, right. It's good to see you two again, sir. June's dad is just as intense as the first time I met him.
Can we please talk about something a little less embarrassing? Oh, sweetie, are you embarrassed by us? Of course I am.
Blunt? You really don't mince words sometimes.
Why would I?
Wait, they're smiling and laughing? I thought they'd be offended by his response, but they like it? What a weird family.
By the way, Rutherford-san, what are you doing here?
I wanted to check up on you before I went to school.
Oh, well, thanks for worrying about me, but as you can see, I'm perfectly fine now.
And the wound on your head is already healed?
Yep, it was a pretty minor cut, so it just healed in no time. The doctor also said that there's no sign of a concussion, so I'm free to go.
That's great. I'm glad nothing bad happened.
Mom, Dad, Rutherford-san was the one who found me when I collapsed and called for help. He's the reason I got treatment so fast. Oh, is that so? I didn't know that.
We're really in your debt. Who knows what would have happened if you hadn't found him? Just a few more minutes and his heart might have not recovered. His heart?
Don't mind them. Dad thinks that just because I bled a little, my heart was going to stop bleeding. I already told him it wasn't nearly enough blood to cause any serious problems, but he won't listen.
I don't know. It certainly looked like a lot of blood to me at the time.
It really wasn't that bad. If it were, I wouldn't be getting discharged already.
I guess you're right.
Well, thank you very much for taking such good care of our son, Hayes-kun. We truly are grateful for your help.
But it was nothing. I'm just happy to help him. He's a good friend.
See, I told you Rutherford-san is a really good person.
Now, that's not really a big deal.
It is to us. Either way, if you'll forgive us, we have to take June back home. Just be careful. We'll keep him at home for a few days to keep an eye on him. We should be back in school in no time, though.
Mom, I already told you that's not necessary. You can't fault your mother for worrying, June.
I guess not.
Of course. See ya. Why do I still have this awful feeling in my chest?